Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming tonight to our panel discussion. The topic for tonight is health matters. Is health important for us? Is health important for you? How can we maintain health? Or if we lost our health, how can we get it back? So I would like to invite the panel that we have for tonight. And welcome everyone. Welcome Sylvia. Welcome Carmen.
Thank you.
Diego. And I think we have more people. Alan, welcome. And Janine, yes. So welcome everyone, and thank you very much for putting aside the time to be on the panel. How is the weather in the Australian capital?
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I hear that Melbourne had really beautiful day as well.
Yes, it is a summer day today. It is a beautiful day. Yes. Yeah, so health is important, and we would like to discuss a little bit of how important and yeah, just a few things about health. So I would like to start with a few statistics. I have good news and bad news. Do you want me to start with the good ones or the bad ones?
The bad one.
Oh, really? Okay, let me start with the good ones, okay? So I looked up the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare. So the last statistic that it was there is 2016, 2018, somewhere around here. And what I found there is good news and maybe less than good news. So Australians are living longer. This is what we are told, with more years lived in good health. Fantastic. Life expectancy for a boy that is born in 2016, 2018 is almost 81, and the life expectancy for a girl that was born within that bracket is almost 85. That is amazing. That is amazing. So I think it's a great achievement, and we have to be thankful for the health system and for everything that we have here in Australia. However, there are some areas where improvement is needed. So according to the statistics, it is estimated that almost half of Australians had one or more chronic conditions in 2017-2018. And that is common chronic conditions including cancer, cardiovascular diseases, arthritis, asthma, diabetes, chronic kidney diseases, mental and behavioral conditions. And during that period of time, the government spent $185 billion. $185 billion. That is a huge amount of money. Another statistic, it says 2 out of 3 adults were overweight, obese, that's 67%, and 1 in 15 hospitalizations was classified as potentially preventable. potentially preventable. So 11.5 million hospitalization during that period of time. So 1 in 15 was preventable. Many factors can affect the health of individual and communities. Some of them, it says on the website, are related to lifestyle factors. For example, tobacco use, overweight and obesity, dietary risks. So let's just a little bit look into what is health. What do you think um, when you hear the word health? What do you think? Uh, yeah, what comes to your mind when you hear the word health, Carmen?
Oh, thanks, Michael. Um, I don't think we can define health without looking into the World Health Organization. They give the definition of health, and it's not just the mere absence of illness, it's more than that. And it says it's a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being. And I think that's a quite a comprehensive definition of what health is. I think Alan wanted to
Okay.
say something as
Yes,
well.
Alan.
Yeah, to me, health is life. It's real living. It's about living life to the full.
Yeah.
And with if you don't have health, doesn't matter what you have, it's worthless. And I like this old Hebrew proverb. And I used to use this years ago back when I was still involved in business. And it goes like this, here. If you had all this amount of money in the bank, yeah, how
Yeah.
happy would you be? Yeah. But if you just remember, they say number one here is our health. The number one here. Okay. And if you take that number one out, yeah,
You're left with
all you
zero.
left is nothing. It's worthless. All zeros. So you take number one out, it's worth nothing. And it's true. As a nurse, we've seen and we all know of people. Doesn't matter what you have in your bank account. Doesn't matter what you drive. What doesn't matter what your house is. You're lying flat in a hospital bed, dying, and all of that stuff is worth nothing to you.
Wow.
So
Wow.
That's true.
without health, we've got nothing. And it's the number one things we need to care for us. And we've only got one chance at it.
Wow.
Mm.
So basically, we can say that health is the greatest gift that was given to us. Is that right?
The greatest asset we have.
The greatest
Mm,
asset. Yes. Yes. Yes.
mm.
Any more ideas in terms of what is health and
Yes.
yes, Sylvia?
And I think most of the time when people think about health, they tend to think about, food and nutrition and all that, but it's actually more than that. It's if you look at the self, like what Elaine and Carmen was saying, it's also your physical, what it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle kind of a thing that you need to look at. Yeah. Mm,
And health is not only food. Okay.
mm,
Health is the complete package, is a holistic understanding of our health. Is so it's our physical health, our mental health, our emotional health, our social health, and spiritual health. So all
mm.
of them are just like a package. So we have to pay attention to the whole lot. Yes, Diego.
Yeah, just going on what you were saying, Pastor Michael. Basically, it's a three-pronged uh, area that we can look at: body, mind, and soul. And it's amazing when we don't look after one portion, how the other two are affected. If I don't eat well, for example, then my physical health or my mental state will be impacted. And if I'm not well
Mm,
mentally, well, just wait and see how the diet goes and
mm,
so forth. So they're also the three areas I see are so interlinked together.
Yeah.
and we need to focus on all of them and um, yeah, make sure that and understand how they all are intertwined.
So yeah, I'd like to spend a little bit more time on the connection between all these aspects of health. Sylvia, I saw you put your hand up.
Yeah, sorry. I think Janine maybe wanted to say something. She was after Diego. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh no,
Uh,
it's
okay. Yeah. I was actually going to say, yeah, because if you think about what's going on, and well, I used to have diets and all that. You really can't just think about a diet when your mind is actually not connected to, so you're gonna always, well, I shouldn't say always, but you will. Chances are you will fail in trying to keep something. It's a complete change. It requires, like what Diego was saying, the body, mind, and the soul to actually be successful at doing something.
okay.
The
Yes.
unfortunate thing is often we take health for granted until we've lost aspect of it, and
Mm.
then suddenly we focus on that aspect. It could be the physical, someone who has an accident and physically is broken legs or something, and help for him then suddenly is without that limb, or having a cold or having whatever is affecting us. Suddenly, it seems health is focused on that area, but health is all encompassing.
Yes.
We,
Janine.
we use the word holistic.
Yes. Yes. That is the key word. Yes, Janine.
Oh, to me, health is happiness. And one of the first things that I taught my children when they were young is that everything that they put in their body actually does matter. Every single choice they make does accumulate to be the end result of their health. Like my boys loved cars, and it's always a good way to look at it. If you were given a Lamborghini, something very precious and very valuable, you must treat it with great value if you want it to keep running smoothly. Um, it's not the Lamborghini that decides what fuel should go into it. Um, it is the maker that decides which is the best fuel that should go into it because the maker made the Lamborghini. And they will recommend the best fuel for it to run. And if you go by the maker's advice, your machinery will run to its most optimum level. And I think health and happiness are very intertwined, and it's one of the most foundational and greatest investments that we can invest in life, because we can't take anything else with us, and it's the only vessel that we're traveling through life with. And everything that we eat and put into our body actually has an effect on our temperance and the way that we have the ability to, our tolerance levels, and the way that we can, our influence towards others. So I think that we must keep that in mind, that it doesn't just affect us if we don't take care of our health.
Yeah, thank you. I think you touched on a very important aspect that we are going to address in a second. But I was thinking what Alan said before. Sometimes we don't feel the effects of an unhealthy life straight away. um, Unfortunately, living an unhealthy life is not like a fire. If you have a fire and if you put your hand in the fire, straight away you feel the heat and you pull your hand back. Okay? Well, living an unhealthy lifestyle is like put your hand in the fire and you don't feel it. And you keep it there, keep it there, keep it there, and then the effect starts to appear later. You don't feel it straight away, but then you get burned badly. So that this is the problem with health, because people, and I abuse, from time to time. We are all guilty of that. Okay, don't we shouldn't say about other people, but I make a wrong choice, and I feel comfortable. Oh, it's good, yummy food, and because I don't feel the negative consequences straight away, I think it's good, and I continue to do that until it backfires, and then I realize. But sometimes it might be too late. Alan, I saw your hand going up.
Yeah, the example you were talking about reminds me of cooking the frog in the warming water.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we get used to it, we get accustomed to it, and it's slowly temperatures building up slowly upon us. And by the time we realize we're cooking, it's a bit too late to jump out of the water.
A
So
bit too
yeah,
late.
and these things is habit forming. We develop those wrong habits and those wrong things, and we just practice this, and it's having a slow impact, but it is having an impact on us. We may not feel it immediately,
Yes, yes.
but by the time we feel it, and the unfortunate thing is that a lot of people think, oh, the doctor, go to the doctor will fix it for me, you know. But and I remember, I know many times, so many of my friends and things, people over the years, even for myself, go to the doctor. They say, well, the doctor will say, well, we'll keep an eye on it and come and see me next year. In other words, we can't do very much at this point. There is, it's no, it doesn't merit, doesn't for us to intervene just yet. The temperature is not hot enough in the board.
Yeah, yeah.
Because,
Okay, let me give you a scenario. Let me give you a scenario. So I'm very careful with my diet. Okay, I'm vegetarian. Maybe I'm vegan. I very, I go exercising every day. I go for a jog. I go to the gym, and my body is strong. But when it comes 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night, I every night I watch a horror movie. So what's wrong with that? I think it's nothing wrong. I'm doing my part in keeping my body, my mind. I go in the sun, I run, I drink my water. But when it comes 10, 11 o'clock, I'll go and watch a horror movie, or just a movie, not a horror movie. Is there anything wrong with that scenario?
I think
No.
that's the point where I think Sylvia was talking about earlier. Is about It's about not just a diet, our healthy. It's about healthy lifestyle. So being healthy is a lifestyle issue. It's not just a diet. Diet is a part of it. It's a small part of it. Our diet. We can be very strict vegan and be very unhealthy lifestyle.
Correct. Smoking? Well, what is tobacco? Is it eating meat? No, it's vegan.
It,
What is
it's vegan.
alcohol? What is alcohol? It's
Plant
vegan.
based.
What
Plant based.
illegal drugs? Illegal drugs, are they vegan?
Marijuana
It,
Yeah.
is plant.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I was
Sylvia, yes.
yeah, I was just gonna add, you made a really good point. Yeah, you can do everything that is right, but and it may not necessarily be your arteries that may clog up or whatever, but if your mind is actually if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not getting, so because the human body itself is so intertwined and they're all interrelated, focusing on one thing is not actually going to solve the whole thing. That's why when we
Yes.
talk about lifestyle and we talk about the body, mind, and the soul, we're looking at the holistic, like what Alan was actually saying. You can't really just focus on one area. So you can actually
Okay.
eat right, you can actually jog, physically you may be well, but mentally are you well?
Yes.
Are you getting
So
enough rest?
if we have this image of a wheel with spokes, and every dimension of our life is a spoke, but if that is broken, that wheel is not
Hmm.
centered and it won't work
That's
properly.
right.
And later, or earlier or later, something can happen with that wheel, because one spoke that is broke will cause the second one to break and the third one to break, and that is it. So it's very important to pay attention to every single aspect of our health. Okay, Janine mentioned that having a Lamborghini, um, well, actually, we had a few years ago one in our garage. It wasn't ours. But having a Lamborghini, and I drove it. Oh, it's cool. Yeah. It's not about what the car wants or what the owner wants. It's all about the manufacturer. And let's focus a little bit about this. And why I'm saying this, because the Seventh Day Adventist Church is well known as being focused on health. Why do we focus on health? What is the connection there? Is there any connection between health and spirituality? Yes, Janine.
Yes, absolutely, there is, and we can see this even in when the angel advised the parents of the parents to be to Samson and also the parents to be to John the Baptist. He asked that the mother abstain from alcohol, um, and that she didn't have any fruit of the vine. I just yeah, there were certain foods that he wanted her to make sure that she didn't eat any unclean foods or anything like that. So it was very important, and it was going to have an impact on the child that was in, to be in her womb. And this was very important to God. And I did notice in looking at Genesis that he gave them every green herb and every green plant for all of his living creatures to eat. I noticed that he gave Adam the choice of naming the creatures, but it was actually God, the Maker, who decided what all his creatures were to
Okay.
eat. Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful, Janine. So basically, what we discovered as a church, we discovered that we find principles of healthy lifestyle in the Bible. Okay, so can we spend just a little bit on this? What have we found in the Bible, and yeah, so we started to take it seriously because if it is there, it's for us. Okay, Carmen, you're
Comment, you're
muted.
muted.
You're muted. I don't know what
Oh,
happened.
yes, this
Yes.
is the most used word these days. You are muted. I was just saying that, even from the beginning, when God created man and woman, He's given us the what we have to eat, and He said you have to eat the seeds
Kind of
and
milk.
the of the trees.
The
Yes,
so the fruit. Yeah. Okay, so right in Genesis chapter 1 and then
yes,
Genesis
yes,
chapter 3, God gives us the list of the food that we have to eat.
yes.
So it's like the first one is rabbit, as I remember. The
Yeah,
second one is, isn't it?
no, it's not that. No,
Sorry. Okay, Alan.
even
I'm
later
not.
on.
I'm not quite sure which version of Bible you're quoting from, Michael. But you're talking to a few of us who knows our Bible a bit better than that.
Okay. Okay, help me then. Help me.
Basically, I think God straight away, the Adam and Eve, straight out of God's hands, placed them in a garden, you know, and in that garden, He gave them plant-based food, and all the animals and everything in that garden were to eat plant only, not eating anything. We see that the eating of plant-based continued right through the ages until Noah, until the flood, when for the first time there was no more vegetation on the planet. After all the vegetation was destroyed, that is when the Bible introduced the eating of animals. And even then, God separated what is defined by the Bible, the clean and the unclean meat.
Okay.
Because up
So
to that point there was nothing, no animals were being consumed at all.
So, Alan, let's say I'm Noah, okay, and I ran out of food. I look through the ark, and I see the beautiful big lion, and I say, "Oh, I want to eat that one. It looks like it's got plenty of meat." What do you have to say?
Well, it didn't qualify in the grouping that God gave to Noah straight away after the flood.
So,
He gave a very clear, very simple identification of grouping, how to identify. He didn't list every single animal on the planet, but he gave groupings and categories of each
yes,
animal that will qualify for human consumption.
but think of this: if Noah would have said, "I want to eat the lion," the lion would have been extinct because God told Noah to take only one pair of unclean animals.
Mm.
and he knew it why. So no, Noah couldn't have said, "I want to eat the giraffe" or to eat the rabbit.
Yeah.
Maybe that would have been a bad idea. But anyway, anyway, God said, "Take seven of clean animals and one of unclean animals, pairs, one pair and seven pairs," and that was from the beginning. God made provision that after the flood, when the vegetables, the vegetation was going to change and become scarce, eating animal meat was going to be a necessity. But God said, "These are the animals that you can eat." And Noah understood that. Otherwise, he would have uh, uh, caused some extinction to some species of the animal in the ark. So yeah, what else do we find in the Bible? So this issue of clean and unclean. Well, I think Noah wasn't Jewish, was he?
He
Because
wasn't.
some people say that clean and unclean animal is just for Jewish people. So I'm a bit
Well,
confused. Can you help me with that?
well, at the end, the bottom line is we are all of us descendants of Noah because it was the only reset button.
Yeah,
We are all descendants of Noah. So
yeah.
if whatever nation Noah was, we are part of his family. We are
Yes,
descendants
yes.
of it. You know,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was a reset button that Noah's population. However, it is interesting that God said to Noah that you will not eat of this for health reason. So today we're talking about health. It was about our health. He knew, like Janine was talking before about the car maker. He knows what is best for that engine to be looked after.
Okay.
I remember when I bought my Mercedes, I used to use Valvoline oil for my car, servicing my car myself, replacing the oil. When I got my first Merc, it says, oh, only this brand. And when I look at the price of that one, it was 5 times more expensive for the same oil.
Oh
And I said,
no.
oh my goodness, why do I bother? Why should I put this oil? But that's what is recommended for that engine, and that's what I had to use if I wanted to
Okay.
keep the car in a working order. And
Okay.
our maker knows what is good and what is bad for us. He made us, he designed us. So
Okay.
he's given us the blueprint how to care for it.
Good. Fantastic. Fantastic. So
Can I?
definitely, yes, Sylvia, please.
Yeah, sorry, I was just also going to add, while the Bible actually spoke about the vegetables and the grains and the nuts and the seeds that were free, I think there was a comment there by Johnny. The difficulties, he says, is that there are many manufacturers of food that have their own agenda to make money regardless and damage the food in itself. So we need to actually also think, about what is actually being offered nowadays, how the marketing and manufacturers are actually destroying the food as what it was actually intended. So it doesn't mean that because it's vegetarian or it's vegan is actually good. So I just
Correct.
wanted to sort of add that one in as
Yeah.
well.
Thank you very
Because in those
much.
days of it was in the Bible, this was actually it wasn't processed. So it's the
Yeah.
processed foods that we're actually talking about.
Mm.
Someone said if your grandma wouldn't recognize it as a food, don't touch it. So thank you very much for all the comments. They are amazing, and thank you for putting them on the screen. And yeah, indeed, the health principles were given before the Jewish people. So
Hmm.
that was the main idea that we wanted to emphasize, that Noah wasn't Jewish. Wasn't, everyone comes from Noah, so the health principles actually preceded the Jewish nation. And yeah, as well, we had here First Corinthians 6, chapter 19 and 20. That was again very important, and it's a Bible verse that we use a lot, where we are told that our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. So our body matters for God. It's not like, it doesn't matter, it's just your soul that matters to be holy, and don't worry about your body because your body is sinful and it has to be destroyed. That's nowhere in the Bible. I can't find that in the Bible. Even at the end, there is no eternal life without the resurrection. everywhere in the Bible talks about eternal life in the context of resurrection. There is no eternal life without resurrection. So again, uh, our bodies are important for God. So yeah, all these comments. Thank you very much. Just put them, and we appreciate very much the interaction that we have there. Yes, Alan, I saw your hand up.
I saw a comment earlier. You're going back to the comments on the screen. I saw a comment earlier. I think it was Jean-Claude mentioning this, which is important. We see as we look through the history, Adam lived to 900 or something years, and the longevity of the early pioneers, those people before Noah, pre-Noah, lived a long time, and we saw the drastic reduction in lifespan after the change of diet.
Yeah, after
When and
Noah,
so
after Noah, just
after Noah, it just plummeted down,
plummeted.
and this is really a direct relation to change of diet, our lifestyle, what we talked about earlier. The lifestyle implication is immense, and and we saw that that went really down, down, down for ages, to until recent time through the advancement of medicine and and learn and scientific learn about lifestyle medicine. We see some improvement in longevity a little bit lately, you know. But some would question that, and I like someone's put it. There's a doctor, a famous doctor, Myron Wentz, who says today we are living shorter and dying longer.
Uh-huh.
You know, living shorter life, dying longer. Meaning, from about 50 or something, 60 years old, a lot of us are living with chronic disease, afflicted with chronic stuff. Yes, we're existing a bit longer now, up to the 80s, 90s, but a lot of those years, unfortunately, are spent in the nursing home in care.
It's not quality.
It's
It's
not
not
quality
quality.
living.
Yeah, or we want, as we have in the comprehensive improvement, how is it called, the CHIP program, live
Complete
as
health.
complete health improvement program. Die as young as possible, as late as possible.
That's right. That's right. Die young and as late as possible.
Yeah. Okay, what is this blue zone? So the National Geographic has identified 5 zones on the planet where people live longer and healthier, and that is Japan, it's in Italy, it's in Costa Rica, in Greece, and Loma Linda, California. What is this Loma Linda, California? Anyone can help me?
I'm speaking a bit too much. Let someone else do come in.
Okay, Janine.
Oh, it's vegan. Yeah,
But
vegetarian.
what is this Loma Linda, California? Who are those people?
Oh, they're 7-day Adventists.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. So National Geographic has identified the Seventh Day Adventist Church that is not only in California, but actually these people are spread all over the world. That they live longer and healthier. Why? Why do they live longer and healthier? Do we have an answer? Because we are those people.
In one word, lifestyle.
Lifestyle?
Bible principles.
Bible principles. We did not invent those principles. We are not cleverer than other people. It doesn't belong to us. What we did as a church, we found these principles in the Bible, and we said, these principles must be important because God put them there for a reason. What if we practice them? And then we started to practice them, and what did we discover? We discover that actually, thank you very much, Johnny. In Loma Linda, there is a high concentration of Seventh-day Adventists, and this is
That's right.
why it's taken Loma Linda,
Yeah.
California. But yeah, we as a church, we discovered that these principles are very important, and actually all the medical scientific discoveries in our time have confirmed again and again that these principles are healthy principles.
Mm.
Okay. Any more comment to this? Yes, Alan,
Yeah,
and then Janine.
I think the Loma Linda study is one of the latest one, but it is not the only one.
Correct.
While I was in England, I remember many research have been done in Europe, Norway, Sweden, England. A lot of researches has been conducted in Europe over lifestyle issues, and each time to do those lifestyle research, many times they go to the Seventh Day Adventist population to research them because they have a very markedly well-known different lifestyle to the general population. And the
Correct.
research and the comparison, and there are so many of those research come up with showing that this group of people with this lifestyle stand out in
Yes.
their health result, their health outcome. They stand out to the general population. And
Yeah.
this is a blessing from God. It's because following God's principle, Bible based principle, we have the reward, we have the blessing from that.
Mm.
It is
Yeah.
not some
Yeah.
clever invention, as you say, because we are more clever or something like that. It is just following Bible based principles given to us.
Yeah. 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 That is so important. Okay, good. So we've been trying hard to convince the whole world, to convince the whole world to follow the Bible principles, and we copped a lot of criticism. Okay, Janine, you wanted to get some to yeah
Yes,
have an answer.
of late, there's been a trend. I don't know if you've heard about it, of people going on something that they call the Daniel diet, and I think that this was because I noticed in the book of Daniel that although he was taken from his country, he didn't protest or put up any fight about being removed to a different location and having a change of home. He didn't protest about having a change of name. But when it came to his diet, that's where he drew a line. And he said he determined in his heart that he could not dishonor his God, his creator who made him, who he was aware that his body was the temple of his Holy Spirit, and even the king that ruled over him acknowledged that he had the spirit of the living God in him. He said, "Put me to the test on this diet," and he had a 10-day test, and it was proven that they were healthier, fatter, and actually smarter and
Yes.
wiser than any of the other people that didn't go on this Daniel diet, which actually was a diet of vegetables and legumes and pulses and things like that. So it was a plant-based diet, in other words. And I must admit, of my own personal experience, I used to be a meat eater. I wasn't always a Seventh-day Adventist. And when I made the change, I could not believe the difference in my body. If I got up during the night, sometimes I used to have a bit of stiffness in my muscles or joints. And when I went vegan, I lost all of that.
Wow.
My whole body was so, I felt like 10 years younger.
Wow.
It was
Wow.
dramatic. The
Wow.
change became so dramatic, and I could never go back. And the other thing I noticed that I was really surprised, I had a physical change, which was I lost all the stiffness, and my joints were so much like so young again. One of the biggest changes that I was really surprised at was my tolerance level was greatly increased. And I was
Wow.
told that, yeah, I didn't realize this. I wasn't expecting that. I noticed I was so much more tolerant. I didn't react like I used to. And and I heard that when you do eat, a lot of people, if they eat meat and it has still the blood in it, because the blood is actually meant to be drained out, that you can actually eat the fear. The life is in the blood, and you can actually eat the fear and all the adrenaline that goes into the blood before the animal, because they're intelligent beings and they get scared before they die, and you're eating all of that in their blood, and so it actually does affect our minds. So when you clear yourself of all that, it's an amazing difference. That was the biggest thing. I wasn't expecting it to affect me as mentally in a positive way as what it did.
Thank you very
Mm,
much. I think we all have a story to share. Why we are so keen to follow this path and to uphold the Bible principles of health. And yeah, would you like to share? Is there anyone that would like to share?
I'd like to just say
Yes.
something, Michael. I think Janine has actually touched on it. As at the start, we spoke about how health was body, mind, and soul. So, Janine spoke about the clarity of the mind and all that. And in the Bible principles itself, it does speak about the balance between work and between the balance between our work as well. We get there's this passage here that I've just found. It says, for what is man in all his labor, for all his striving in his heart which he has toiled under the sun, for all his days are sorrowful and his work burdensome. Even in the night his heart takes no rest. So that rest is really important. And we were all given that 7-day rest, the Sabbath in itself. So I think, when we look at health, we're not looking at just the what we eat and the nutrition side, but we're looking at the mind. So there's no way your brain can actually keep on functioning as such, without a break. And if it does, most of us will actually know the effects. It judges our clarity. You don't you make poor decisions. So this is all part of it as well.
Thank you, Alan. Yes. You're muted, Alan. I don't know what happened. It's all
Sorry.
right.
It's a good point here that Sylvia is raising here is, and for a long time, as a psychiatric nurse, or practicing for over 40 years, I know the mental health for a long time was separated completely from the mainstream health. And we had asylum, we had psychiatric asylum and things where they will be locked away, and it was treated as a separate different thing. Today it is integrated into the mainstream health, and because it is now realized that it's all the same thing, it's all one impact the other. And we are therefore today feeling that we need to, and we see a lot of people going through depression, anxiety, and all kind of different mental health, and how that impact on their physical health, or their physical health is impacting on their emotional mental health. It's
Yes.
all interconnected, and we can't treat them in silos as they used to in the past. And they're all connected, and they all will. And today, depression and anxiety is a major issue. You know, and
Yes.
a lot of that is brought about by the diet, by the lifestyle, by a lot of all kind of different things. So, or they're all interrelated. So
Yes.
when God
Yes.
gave us the blueprint, it is for us to have a whole. Jesus said, I have come to give you life and life abundantly,
Yes.
you know? And that's the
No.
promise God wants us to have. But we can't have that if we are breaking the principle and abandoning the
Yes.
principle that is given us to enjoy it.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. We're coming to an end. Um, yeah. Any tips before we finish? Any tips? Any word of wisdom that you'd like to give to all the people that are watching? Um, yeah, Janine.
Oh, well, it's often been found of late that they call the gut the second brain. And
Oh.
if we don't have good gut health, we can often get like cloudy thinking or brain what they call brain fog. So it's really important that we do that. And another thing that I was thinking about when I was reading Isaiah 6, and it talks about what heaven will be like. And I noticed that in heaven, when it talks about how the lion will lay down next to the lamb, all the animals in heaven will be vegetarian or vegan, so to speak.
Vegan, yeah.
So we might as well. They'll all also be having rest there as well. They'll be having a very healthy lifestyle. They'll have. It says that they'll meet from Sabbath to Sabbath. That means they're going to be having rest. So they've got a good lifestyle there. They don't work all the time. They don't overwork themselves. And it also says that that they will be, no animal will be no flesh will be eaten. We won't be devouring one another. So we might as well begin now, I think, and have, if we're going to be citizens in heaven, we might as well start practicing now on earth. So we're all ready to go before we go.
Yes, yes, beautiful. Yeah, I can see. Thank you so much, Janine. I can see great comments there from Katrina and Kim. Indeed, anxiety, depression, having a brisk walk. These are all just blessings. Anything else? Just
Yeah.
before we finish, any word of wisdom? Yes, Sylvia.
Can I just also add that, we're all on this journey. Look at it as a journey of improvement. So, when we're looking at a journey towards the optimal health, there will be times, and I have actually had that, where we might fall and we might stuff up. You have one day that you've actually just, oh no, I haven't actually done whatever exercise or whatever it is. I think it's important that we don't beat ourselves up for it. It's not about beating yourself to get there. You know what I mean? It's a lifestyle change. So with any lifestyle change, it does take time, but in that process, you want to try and implement something good each time, until you sort of
Yes,
get there, and enjoy that process as you're part of the way as well, because that's exactly what I did. And I don't say that I've
yes,
actually reached that. I'm still heading towards that
yes,
that point.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think what's important to remember is that this is a journey, and my journey is different than yours, but the
Yes,
destination is the same. In
that's
in
right.
the sense that the Seventh Day Adventist Church doesn't force people to become vegetarian, doesn't force people to become vegan. This is their option, but we have the health principles, and we encourage people to start this journey. Some people might be very quick in this journey, some people very slow, but as long as we are on this journey, I think we are in the right direction. Alan, I think I saw your
It's
hand
not.
up, and
Yeah.
then we have to
Yeah.
finish.
It's not as we say often. It's not a salvation issue. But God
Correct,
gave us those principles for our health issues. And the healthier
correct.
we are, the better we can serve Him, the better we can enjoy life. And that's the main reason God gave us those principles. And you asked for a couple of tips. I would say move
Uh,
more, and drink more. Move more, drink
water,
more.
sky juice,
Drink water.
the water, yeah.
Water. Yes.
Yeah, and we all know this, eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a beggar.
Yeah.
Again, so these are tips that are very important. Going to bed on time, 9:30, 10 o'clock the latest, because the first part of the sleep is the most important. The one between 10 and 12 o'clock is the most important. Even if you sleep in, that doesn't um,
Make up for
uh,
it.
make up for that, the time before 12 o'clock. So these are very important things that actually they are helping us to live a happy life and healthy life. Thank you very much. I hope that we cause some stirring in your minds, and the desire to live a healthier life. And God has a plan for us. He has a plan not only for eternity, but He has a plan for now. And He wants us to live happy not only on the new earth, as we know from the Bible, that He wants us to live life to the full now. And we can't live life to the full now if we don't follow His principle. Thank you very much. May God bless you, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.